Welcome to ABP Desam Health Conclave 2025.
Let's invite our speakers. Let's put our hands together for Urvashi Agarwal, internationally certified fitness coach and nutritionist, and Dr. Lahari Surapaneni, nutritionist and wellness consultant, founder of Nutriful. Can we give both the leading ladies a huge round of applause as they walk up to the stage for our next session?
Hello everyone and good afternoon, and this is actually going to be a very informative and very interactive session. So the topic of our session is superfoods and debunking myths. So let me just start the session by actually asking all of you, how many superfoods do you know and do you eat? Okay, how many of you think that they are eating right, eating healthy? Can you please raise your hands? None of you think that they're eating right. Okay. In the past 1 year, how many have you started having fox nuts, which is also known as makhana? Because now on social media, it is, I can see at least 3-4 hands at the front row and then again at the back. So this is what we are going to discuss today, the myths that we need to debunk about superfoods. So I'll start with you, Urvashi. You know, on social media, we are actually getting to know one or more superfood, so-called superfood, every second day. You know, we watch reels, we watch videos on YouTube, and there's makhana, there's broccoli, there's matcha. Yeah, these days. So are these actually superfoods?
So there is no term as superfood. If we talk about superfood, let me tell you, there is no official nutrition authority like FSSAI, WHO, or FDA who's come up with any official, legal, or scientific term. It is just a marketing gimmick for people, right, to tell them that certain foods are superior, and by eating them, you can just reverse your unhealthy lifestyle. So that's a breaking news for you. So if you have an unhealthy lifestyle, let's say you have sedentary life with no exercise, no activity, people have processed junk food, erratic sleep cycle, stress is sky high. 2 teaspoons of chia seeds is not going to help you.
Right. Coming to you, Dr. Lahari, do you have clients, do you have patients who comes to you and say, okay, fine, I really want to reverse my aging, and you know, how do I increase my glutathione by having broccoli twice a day, or maybe having chia seed water every early morning? I don't know, I've seen celebrities eating raw garlic early morning, like even before they brush their teeth. Do you think that that is actually going to help people? Again, or is it a social media university myth that people are just blindly following?
So as Urvashi has said, there are no superfoods or these, very simple solutions that are going to help you clear off everything or overcome the hurdle that you have built into your lifestyle, usually over a decade. It is like, somebody telling you, most of the times when we see these influencers, right, talking about superfoods, it's like somebody telling you this hat or this piece of jewelry is going to make you look so beautiful without talking about the dressing in the first place, right? You know, the first step to looking good or looking presentable is the dress or your attire. So it's like not talking about anything about the attire and all, and just talking about, oh, this hat is doing all the job. It's as silly as that, as ridiculous as that. However, I'm not saying they do not have any benefits at all, but those benefits do probably add up to about anywhere between 0.1 to 1%. When you're not working on your 99 to 99.9%, these 0.1 to 1%,
you can't rely on.
Yeah, is really not going to make any difference that you can see or you can perceive. So, but problem is most people want these instantaneous results or something that is very easy to do or a step that is going to make them feel like they are doing something without really doing anything that is helpful, with effortless.
Right. Coming back to you, Urvashi, she just mentioned the word influencer. A lot of us are being just, we are just following the content that is being pushed on social media. Be it Instagram, we are watching reels every day about food, superfood, exercise, fasting, intermittent fasting, keto diet, gluten-free, all of this. Do you think that we should actually follow these followers? Like, do you think that just having 2 million viewers make you credible enough that we should be hearing them or we should be following them? I'm pretty sure that a lot of us would be actually following a lot of influencers like this.
So with the advent of social media, of course, whether you talk about any platform, right, YouTube or Instagram or any other platform, there are influencers. Now, it's okay to influence people, and it's okay to guide people. But my question is, where are the certifications? Where are the degrees? When you talk about, when people follow you and you talk about, let's talk about a simple topic, exercise, right? Now, if somebody has done a transformation, let's say person X has lost 20 kgs, that does not make him a coach.
Right.
Right? You can't say, okay, I have lost 20 kgs, I can become an influencer and I can help people lose those kgs or that weight. Similarly, same thing is true for nutrition.
Right.
Or any facet of fitness or health. Right? So having millions of followers does not warranty your credibility, your knowledge, your expertise.
Dr. Lahari, we have also seen on social media that a lot of Western culture influence is now being adopted over here. So especially with our youth, they are going crazy over matcha. Okay, they are going crazy over chia seeds. They are going crazy over different kinds of rotis, not eating rotis at all, amaranth, and there are other substitutes as well, right? So do you actually think that people know what is actually a balanced diet, what actually should be a proper diet? Do you think people actually know about it?
Most of the information, unfortunately, is being assimilated from the information overload that is available all across the media, whether it is print media or social media or any of those places. So whatever is being popularized, whether it is matcha or chia seeds or whatever other fad that is going to or that is here to run its course over the next 6 months to 6 years, it could be anything. All those things really are only temporary relief when there is no assimilation of balanced diet. A lot of people, at least in my clientele, what I see is people think they are eating healthy just because they are following the rules or the guidelines provided by, as Urvashi has said, not necessarily properly credentialed or knowledgeable individuals. So when you derive knowledge from places like that, there are going to be certain gaps. So to answer your question, most people think they do know what a balanced diet is, but they don't entirely know it. And secondly, a balanced diet is not a one-size-fits-all, right? So it's going to be different at different phases of life, stages of life. It's going to be different for different genders. It's going to be different for people with different lifestyles. Just to give you a simple example, added sugars or just having any kind of sugar on a regular basis is not recommended for general public. Right? However, when you take somebody who is an endurance athlete or an athlete who is constantly on the go and exercising for over 2 to 3 hours a day, one of their main sources of constant energy while they are performing is going to be added sugar. You cannot have a better source of energy that is going to instantaneously give them the outcome they are going to want.
Correct.
So in their case, the sugars or added sugars are part of their balanced diet.
Correct.
So the definition of balanced diet for general public is different from individuals.
Correct.
So here again, personalized nutrition with respect to their genetics as well as their lifestyle in general also comes into picture.
Correct. Urvashi, she just mentioned the word sugar. That reminds me of the recent announcement Sugar and Oil Board has made that, it would be mandatory to announce or, to write the amount of fat, the amount of calories, the amount of sugar and oil that is being used in processed food. Do you think we should also make our children aware at the very early stage? Because even the Sugar and Oil Board is going to promote healthy eating habits in school as well. So how responsible are we, our parents, doctors, teachers, everybody around us? Because the Sugar and Oil Board is doing their work. They're doing their job. But again, it's our duty as well.
So the Union Health Ministry has suggested now that sugar and oil boards are put across, and it started with schools. Like schools will start having sugar and oil boards for the children so that they understand when they look at the board and pictures of their favorite snacks. Some cookies, biscuits, namkeens, packaged cold drinks, packaged soft drinks, juices, right? So children will understand from at a very early stage that what they are actually eating, right? So that's how it started. And this, we have come to this stage because of this obesity, which is a silent epidemic. And the projection is by 2050, we will have 44.9 crore people who will become obese.
Across ages.
Sorry?
Across ages, different age groups.
Across ages and in India.
In India.
So that's an alarming statistic. So now children really need to understand. So I think it is high time that we have nutrition a part of their curriculum. It's really, really important. Also, the onus is also on parents. We're putting sugar and oil boards at the schools, right? But
how about creating one at home as well?
How about the parents? Because when junk, processed, packaged food is cheap, it's easily available, heavily marketed, are you going to take time to pack healthy snacks for your children or healthy meals for your children? That's also important.
That's actually an alarming situation because we see kids as young as 7 and 8 year old and their weight would be like 40, 45. All they are obsessed is with junk food. But how do they develop this habit? Probably people around them are eating all of this, right? But, coming back to the main and the most trending thing, which is actually fasting. It's not just intermittent fasting. I think intermittent fasting would be like early, like 5 years. It's basically a trend that used to happen 5 years from now. Now people are going to try fasting for good 24 hours at a stretch. Do you think that it is actually recommended? They don't even understand that bodies of a man and a woman is actually different. And across age groups is actually different. You can't be fasting for 24 hours straight. But it is all over social media that it reverses your aging.
Yes, this is also one of the trends. However, I would say one of the safer trends really, because fasting is not new to humankind or even to Indian culture in general. When we eat our last meal sometime in the night, until the time we eat again, we are fasting really, right? So intermittent fasting is just extending that time by a little bit. As you go on doing that, as you keep on extending that, there will be a point where you see a sweet spot where you are comfortable enough, deriving enough energy to support your daily activities. When you are doing any kind of fasting, it should not interfere with your ability to perform any of the tasks. So that part is very important. When people don't consider that, and as you rightly said, it's, 24-hour fasting is not for everybody. At the same time, 12-hour fasting is also not for everybody.
Correct.
And there are some people who would go on 72-hour fasting. Sometimes people need to go on 72-hour fasting for therapeutic reasons also.
Right.
So you really can't put a blanket statement saying fasting is good or fasting is bad.
Right.
It's across the scale. There are so many grays in these kind of diets, whether it is fasting, intermittent fasting, whether it is keto diet. So there are several aspects that need to be considered and several, caveats to be considered, whether somebody is going to have benefit out of it or it is going to do more harm than benefit. Yes.
Benefit. Okay. In the end, Urvashi, just give us total 4 things or maybe 4 habits what we are doing wrong. Maybe 4 wrong things that we are consuming every day across ages, or maybe 4 habits that we are following every day across ages that is actually harming our body more than doing the benefits as she mentioned.
So talking about food or you're talking about lifestyle?
Both, including.
Okay. So lifestyle, the first part is going to be the most difficult part. Stop touching your phone the moment you open your eyes. How many of you do that? Sometimes I also do it.
Everybody,
Nobody
I
does
think
it.
It's just that they're being shy by raising their hands.
It's a very healthy lot of people if you don't touch your phone the moment you open your eyes or within 10 minutes of waking up. That's the first thing, right? And second thing that I want to say is, even if you find 10 minutes, please exercise. And when I say exercise, I have talked about it on different platforms. Exercising does not mean you need to go to the gym and lift heavy weights. It could be any exercise. Simple body weight strength training combined with low or medium intensity cardio will do the trick. 10 minutes every day. If you're so busy that you can't exercise for 10 minutes, at least be active. 8,000 steps, 10,000 steps. Start slowly and build the pattern.
Right.
And finally, I'm going to say that...
2 foods.
Sorry?
2 food items, foods.
Food items. Well, I will say that take the holistic approach. Do not eliminate any macro. Don't go for diets which tell you no carbohydrates, no fats, no protein. It has to be a balanced approach. See, we have been eating food, balanced meals. If you look at any cuisine, you have a balanced approach. Just have balanced meals. And if you want to go for a fat diet or any specific diet, always seek professional help. And fourth one, please, yoga, meditation, reading books, listening to music, spending time with your family, friends. Basically, this is your therapy to de-stress yourself. Anything. So that, you are de-stressed and you're
happy.
Don't burn out.
Thank you. Dr. Lahari, 5 food items that one must add in their everyday diet that will actually do wonders and magic to our body from within. Just 5 names.
Yeah. So before we even get to 5 foods or 5 types of foods that should be part of your diet, we should all definitely stick to the principle of consistency. No matter what you do, you are only going to get result of what you do consistently, whether it is a healthy thing or an unhealthy thing.
Correct.
What you repetitively do is what is going to show any sort of result.
Correct.
So, there are some people who choose to eat very healthy over 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week, they'll count them as luxury days or cheat days or whatever they name it, and then whatever effort they put over the 5 days goes out the window. So it's like they end up where they have started over the week.
Right.
So avoid these kind of mistakes and stay consistent. Consistent doesn't mean you have to give up the luxuries, but be mindful of whatever the choices you are making so that you are conscious of it, and then automatically you will regulate the not so healthy decisions you are making with respect to food.
Right.
Coming back to the 5 food groups, one should try to include in their regular diet. One, I would say, I don't like talking about nutrients,
No, just
especially
5
when it
things,
is general
5
public,
things, yes.
but rather foods. So as doctors and future doctors, I would also request that when you talk to your patients or anybody who asks you, doctors are held at very high regard, and most of the patients take your word for like God's word, and they will not consider or reconsider anything anybody else says. So please be mindful of saying what you say to them. don't just tell them eat more protein, because a lot of times there is a lot of misinformation out there about what is protein and what foods are high in protein. Or just don't say, oh, stop eating all carbs or reduce the carbs. Give them a little more clearer instructions that they can follow. Coming back to the kind of foods, right? Getting back to food instead of nutrition. When we serve food on our plate, we don't see carbs, we don't see proteins, we don't see fats. Well, sometimes we do see fats, but with respect to proteins or carbs or vitamins and minerals, we don't see those separately served on our plate. What we see is, we can identify grains. You know, a child as young as, say, 1 year old can also differentiate between rice and dal, you know. Identifying food groups starts very early. So give them information on what can be identified so that it can be incorporated on a regular basis. So make sure you have a certain amount of grains, a minimum of about 100 to 200 grams. This is all for general public, okay? 100 to 200 grams of grain-based products in your entire day at least. No matter how strictly you are on a diet you think, make sure you get 100 to 200 grams of grain-based products. It can be rice, it can be roti, it can be pasta, it can be whole grain-based noodles also. So choose grain-based products.
Next.
Choose at least a little bit of lentils and beans-based products. So it can be chana, rajma, any of those, or your regular dals that you use on, on a daily basis. Make sure you have at least one portion of that in any one of the meals. If you are not having any so far,
So grains
or there are
and bean-based products you mentioned.
beans, as in chana, rajma, chole, different kinds of legumes, really. So make sure you include these dals also. And at least dairy products or poultry, as in eggs, or if you are somebody who eats meat, include a little bit of that once or twice a week, if not every day. If you are somebody who consumes egg or who is open to consuming egg, include at least one egg every day, one whole egg every day, unless you have certain medical conditions that are going to prevent you from including one whole egg.
Right.
Otherwise, fill your plate with colorful vegetables. At least 50% of what you eat in a day should come from vegetables in various forms. When I say various forms and vegetables, pakoda and samosa don't count. The fillings in those, or what's inside the pakoda, they don't count. What I mean by different forms is, it can be minimally processed. It doesn't have to be completely unprocessed, but minimally. Yeah,
right.
It can be salad, it can be soup, it can be a sabzi, it can be a gravy curry with vegetables in it. In any form you prefer, or any form you feel it is acceptable, but 50% of your entire day's food in terms of volume should come from vegetables. Finally, definitely include fruits, but only about 1/3 of the quantity of your vegetables, roughly.
And of course, we say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of fruit. And nuts and seeds. A fistful of nuts and seeds. This is like a personalized portion size. Okay. Whatever fits in your fist, and different kinds of mixed nuts and seeds. There is no one type of like almonds or walnuts or cashew nuts. There is no one kind of nut or seed superior over the other. It's usually the medley of it, or a combination of it, or taking those different varieties over a period, like over a week. As long as you get these on your plate on a regular basis,
that makes a
you're
balanced
good.
diet.
Yes.
Yeah, well, no matter what the fad diets you see online, social media, always remember, it has to be sustainable, it has to be balanced, and it has to provide you nutrition. You should feel well, you should feel happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you so much, doctors, and thank you so much, Urvashi, for giving us all the knowledge about the right food and the wrong food that we have been consuming. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope the audience now knows what exactly a balanced meal is, and probably they can start with their dinner today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Share. Thank you so much, Chahat, for moderating the session exceptionally well. And we thank Urvashi Agarwal and Dr. Lahari for joining us here. Once again, can we give our speakers a huge round of applause? And I would request Nageshwara Rao, editor ABP Desam, to kindly join us to the stage. As we fellows say, the lady is here with us.